everybody, how we all doing? I hope we're having a good weekend so far. So today is Saturday the 30th of November. I hope we've had a great Thanksgiving and Black Friday as well. Anyway, let's just kick right into it. Smallville Season 11 and it's Alien Chapter 3. Oh my days, what is going on? Ladies and gentlemen, let me just break it down to you quite quickly here. So Chloe, as I say, is back in town. She's accompanying Lois to the Daily Planet. It's good to see the Daily Planet back. I can't even remember the last time we were even in the building in the comics, to be fair. So it's good that we're back in the offices of the Daily Planet. Although I'm a bit still worried that Lois is down in the basement. Shouldn't she be upstairs now? You know, like going up, as it were. But anyway, moving on. So they're talking about the future of the baby, bless them, and then there's the mention of Oliver, how he's just closed a deal in San Francisco, or with San Francisco for Queen Industries to provide the financial assistance in rebuilding Pier 39. If you remember Pier 39 from was it Dr. Phosphorus attacking Pier 39, that the Teen Titans had to then apprehend him and stop him from that. So Oliver's assisting in that. There's also there's a point of where Chloe actually does tell Lois that, you know, she's very, very bored. That's why she's back in Metropolis and Smallville with Clark and Lois. And then there's the mention of them. We go back to the interview that Clark is having with Lex. There's even a lovely little mention here about you know, how social media has taken over the world, kind of thing. And Lois mentions how Clark was just lucky that social media didn't exist while he was zipping up and down the hallowed halls of Smallville High, which was interesting because if you remember back then, if anybody did have a camera phone or anything, he would have been exposed big time. Although saying that, there were a few instances where people had, you know, camera phones and, you know, devices that could take videos and whatnot. So yeah, and we all remember what happened in season 8 with Jimmy, or Henry rather. Anyway, so we're aboard Lex's supersonic jet, flying over to Russia, and as I say, Clark is interviewing Lex, and this is where they're getting a head start from Superman, which is kind of odd, since the guy can pretty much fly faster than the speed of sound and all that sort of stuff. Clark mentions, what did he say here? Something to do with the accident that happened in Star Labs last month. Remember in the Hollow series, what happened between him, well, Tess trying to take down Lex for what happened to Emil Hamilton. So that's brought back up. And then obviously there's the mention of the crash landing in Russia, which is why they go into Russia. Lex is obviously going there to find out more about what has crash landed, and the Monitor as well, who has appeared. Now, it's good that at the end, what then happens is that the plane hits turbulence. But before it actually does hit turbulence, you've got Lex questioning about Clark and his engagement with Lois, so he's getting a bit more into his personal life. And it's also interesting how what is it? There's this bit here that, according to Miss Lane's social networking profile, the two of you have been engaged for quite some time, as a matter of fact. And then Clark's like, well, what can I say? The timing hasn't really been right. Lex is like, oh, life just keeps getting in the way. And then we get flashbacks to the end, towards the back end of season, literally in the last, you know, in the series finale of season 10. And then Clark's like, yeah, something like that. And then, you know, Lex is basically telling Clark to just seize the moment, seize the day, carpe diem, and all that sort of stuff. You know, do it, and this, that, and the other. Just go for it. And it's like, he even mentions how, you know, Lois given Superman so much coverage. You know, you may want to spice things up every now and then. You know, so Lex is really interested, but at the same time, he's thinking, you know, look, Clark, get with the program. You know, you're either going to marry this woman now, or you're never going to get a chance to marry her at all. And then he even then turns around about saying that it's not about trusting Lois, it's about trusting him, as in Superman. You know, wherever he is, you've no reason to, none of us do, all that sort of stuff. And Clark also talks about his, Lex's memory loss, his amnesia, and asks him, he actually does ask, why does he hate Superman so much? What is the hatred? But obviously Lex, having no memory of what happened prior to Superman getting rid of, Apocalypse, he says, to be honest, I can't put my finger on it. Must have something to do with my old life, which we all know does. But the question is, if he ever does get any fragment back of what happened in those 10 years, it will be very interesting to see how he reacts to that. It'd be very, very interesting. Anyway, so as I say, the plane hits turbulence. There's a lot of thunder and lightning going on, thick clouds. They lose an engine, and then next thing you know, Clark is about to see if he can do something. Unfortunately, he doesn't do anything, and what we then see is, well, at first Lex thinks it's Superman trying to cause, he says, I swear if freaking Superman just caught my jet. But what we actually find is it's the Rocket Red Brigade, ladies and gentlemen. And if you don't know about the Rocket Reds, they were part of like the Justice Society way back when, and they were then they were brought back. I say they were brought back, but one of them was brought back just before the relaunch of DC Comics, the New 52. So yeah, they are pretty much an integral part of like the Justice Society, Justice League International as well, from years ago as well. So there's there's half a dozen of them here, welcoming Lex and Clark to Moscow. So they've arrived in Moscow, and then we've got the Prime Minister, the Russian Prime Minister, who's being told by one of his people that the president would like to speak to him about the meteor strike, but he's saying, well, look, I'll call him back later because I need to speak to Luthor regarding how much he wants to pay for the prisoner, aka the Monitor. So the Russians have the Monitor imprisoned, and they really have him imprisoned. I mean, they've got some serious hardware around him, making sure he's not going to go anywhere. So Lex obviously is going to make a bargain with the Russian Prime Minister. We don't know how much, obviously, but what sort of bargain is going to be made, again, we don't know. But we'll find out, not next week, but obviously the week after. I believe next week will be the final chapter of Titans, the 4th one in the series, and then we'll be back with chapter 4 of Alien, hopefully, as well. So again, another brilliant chapter. It was very good. I mean, whilst it wasn't this action heavy, it was very good to see the conversation and the interaction between Clark and Lex in particular. They're that close to each other, yet Lex just has no idea of who Clark really is, and this, that and the other. And obviously, remember last week's chapter at the end, it was Supergirl that made Lex believe that Superman was on his way to Russia, kind of thing. So yeah, it's one of those things where, as I say, who knows if Lex is going to regain anything back from the last decade. We'll see what happens. But anyway, thank you all very much for watching as always, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye.